Eyeballs ahead jokes.
Welcome back, everybody, to another special edition, Friday night edition of iPoke Head Chokes. We are joined with our really good friends from the Jobber Tears podcast, Sir Wilkins and Mr. Yeah, damn, I didn't put the thing up. I did have that soundbite. Shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is what it is. Well, we're here to discuss like a very, very important issue. I'm sure you guys discussed this on your podcast earlier this week. In terms of the unfortunate ongoings of racial injustice and just social injustice overall, in terms of like in regards to the Black community, with the Black Lives Matter movement, after we had the whole incident with the cops technically actually murdering somebody in the street, Black person,
numerous people,
George Floyd. Yeah, obviously, one person and numerous people standing by, not doing anything about it. How are you guys doing? It's been quite a week. How are you guys doing? All three of you actually. Because for me on my end, yeah, I kind of go through some racial profiling, but not to the extent that the three of you might. And I just want to know how all three of you are feeling at this point.
Yeah, because you can actually pass for a white person.
Yeah.
Some
or
people
Middle
would.
Eastern. No, it's true.
Yeah.
If I get a 10, I'm Middle Eastern. So like that's a whole nother bag. Cops look at me for a whole different reason. But
I don't want to keep. Like your hair is a little bit too straight and too black.
Right.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot, as you can hear. This cops rolling by right now. Be careful out here, guys. I mean, we're all inside. It's not 8 o'clock yet, so.
So do we still have a curfew though? Like
it doesn't feel like
we do.
Yes, until Sunday. Sunday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like, I'm like, I didn't get the email, the text message this time, so it must not be true.
Yeah.
But apparently, still a thing.
It doesn't feel like it. New York the Bronx doesn't really respect the curfew.
Neither does Brooklyn, Manhattan, or whatever for that extent.
New York City.
Yeah, either way, like how are you guys feeling like this whole week? Like what's going through your minds? Like we've seen a bunch of different stars like talk about certain things from NFL to wrestling, to even athletes in soccer from across the pond, like in Europe and shit, speaking out about it. So what are your thoughts?
Did you say soccer?
Yeah.
Oh man, you didn't say football. That's wow.
Right. Got to say it the right way.
You see, I try to adhere to the Americanism, but like I get shit if I don't. I get shit if I do. But
that's why we're in this mess now. So don't, don't.
Right.
Yeah. Who wants to go first? Want me to go first?
You're talking.
So, I think for me, a part of me is like we're kind of used to this, which is the bad thing.
Yeah.
Like we're like all four of us have grown up in predominantly brown and Black neighborhoods. Am I wrong for the most part?
No,
you're completely true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we've all grown up there. We see how cops be acting, and because think about it. When we all saw the video, we were like, "Oh, this happens like every other day."
It's like another one.
Another one. Okay, it's like another one.
I didn't want it, but yeah.
And I think for me personally, how I felt was like this happens all the time, but there was a sense of like, oh, everybody's seeing this. Oh, everybody's saying something about this. When Call of Duty made a statement about Black Lives Matter before the loading screen.
Wow, I didn't know that.
They did. I did see that earlier.
So if you're playing Call of Duty, it'll pop up and they'll talk about how they are for Black Lives Matter and everything. That's wild. And a part of me is just sitting there like, yo, we are war together against racism. This is great.
It is.
This is awesome.
Absolutely. But the main issue is what I'm looking at, like, there has to be an end game in terms of all of this going on. Like, everybody speaking out on it. Like, it's fine to speak out on it. It's fine to donate money. But as long as people and companies do not take action and, like, you know, try to actually better the whole, like, just racial issue, like, it's not going to really change. Why do you think that now, even though before this has happened multiple times, like you've stated, why is it that now it's so much more mainstream, and not even mainstream because all those things were mainstream, but like since we had the Trayvon Martin thing up until now, like Trayvon Martin was a huge fucking deal. Just because it wasn't a cop doesn't mean that it wasn't a huge fucking deal. It was a huge fucking deal. But the thing is, we, like you said, the Black and brown communities have been dealing with this for a long time. No matter where you're from in this nation, to be quite honest. And what's the difference in the George Floyd murder compared to other murders that have happened in the recent past? One of them got shot up 43 times by the cops going into his own place.
Yeah, it's a lot of different things.
Why wasn't that brought up then? Or with Breonna Taylor, why wasn't that brought up before? Like, how come this one is so much more evident and exposed compared to every other situation that we have?
I want to hear what Blacc has to say.
It's simply because it all goes back to the media. The media, everyone's home. Literally everyone's home. Everyone's still recovering from the quarantine. So the perfect mixture of the quarantine and this, it was just like, dang. The other case with Rihanna, it was just like people forgot the guy who got shot for jogging. So with this, with this, the right combination, everything was just back to back. It happened before. Usually we get a Black person gets killed and that's it. We don't get so much cases back to back. But now, due to the fact that losing something else to cover, they put it all hands on deck. Because they understand that, all right, we got to cover this. So, and on top of that, people, during this quarantine, a lot of people actually had the time to actually face their demons, actually face themselves, and realize that, dang, son, I already have all this time in my hand. I might as well do something with it. Some people watch Netflix, and most likely a lot of people watch a lot of these, documentary about Black and brown people getting killed, cold blood in the streets. So, everybody watching the news constantly. Everybody is with the right combination with the news and everything going on. Like I said earlier, it was just like this was the time. This had to happen. This was all part of the greater plan that God had for it. Like a lot of people don't understand this. When I'm realizing this whole quarantine, one thing I've been taking out is there's always a silver lining in everything. Unfortunately, like this Black man had to die the way he had to die. But it was all part of a greater plan that God has for us Black people. And to answer Alex's question, what we do after this is we gotta figure out our mess within. Us as Black people, like we have too many. Like I said on my show yesterday, we have too many like stupid issues, and we're so quick to take away people's Black card. Oh, if you do this, you ain't Black enough. You do this, you ain't Black enough. And
between the Black cards and inviting too many people to the cookout,
to the barbecue, and like
they don't deserve to be there if they can only dance.
Like and the standards be so low, but we have other races that, for example, like I listen to a podcast, Premier 2, and there's an Indian guy, and he said he was on Wild 'N Out, and he made basic jokes. Everybody went crazy, and he said it like the bar is set so low for other races when it comes to us Black people. And this to bring everything back together is we need a plan that everyone got the world's attention. What are we going to do? And us as Black people, we got to come together and we got to talk with our pockets. We got to go behind somebody and actually press that. We're not voting. All of us not voting until you have the Black agenda. We will support you. We will give you money, but you need a Black agenda. You understand? And one thing that people always get on Trump, like, oh, all these companies supporting Trump. I'm looking like, bro, you do know that a lot of these companies Trump is looking out for people. Like, if you look out for me, I'm gonna look out for you. Politics, when you have that kind of money, politics are not like, people don't look for, they look for their best interests. Their money talks. So they're gonna cover big business first. Well, Trump is reelected, he's gonna take care of big business first. People who looked out for him. This is why people give money to. And us as Black people, we gotta come together. This is why, let's go back to Obama when he was president. Why a lot of stuff got done, because a lot of people, the Hispanic community, the LGBT, the LGBT community, whatever.
Those letters.
Is yes, the LGBT community. They put money behind us. Say, yo, if you do this first, we got you. They put money behind us, behind Obama's candidate. This is why that there's much so much you can help us, because we didn't put our money where our mouth is. We said yes, Obama was necessary because it shows Black people that we do anything we want, we put our mind to it. But we need another Black person to say that, nah, he was a symbol, but I'm the one that will get you over the hump. We need to come together and assign people that who know what they're talking about, who go to the people, who go to go to these rallies, all this, and get all the information and present it and say, yo, listen, this is what my people need. Because literally, the hood been the same since George Bush Sr.
Yeah.
Everything been the same since George Bush Sr.
Way before, yeah.
Nothing has been changing because we're not saying nothing. And now we literally have the whole world attention. We gotta come together, get on negativity out. We gotta deal with our colorism. There's a lot that we got to deal with.
It's a lot of colorism, but
yes,
in just us. Like, a lot of us dislike each other just because either we come from a certain place or we just don't hold each other down a certain type of way. So that has to change too, and we just have to speak up for each other. And when it comes to exactly, it has to become a point where we're just educating each other and not just bashing each other. A lot of the problems come from people not knowing how to talk to each other. People not knowing how to agree to disagree. Like, that's where a lot of the problems come from. So a lot of that has to change, and a lot of people need to be just open to hearing just differences and being able to compare and contrast the situations of my struggle and your struggle.
Yeah, because I understand that beyond anything, when aliens comes down, they're not going to see, all right, we're going to attack the white people, the Black people. No, they're going to say, oh, this is a human race. Yeah. They're all going to go down. Just like a lot of people don't know, is Nixon, I forgot, it wasn't George Bush Sr. said that it's going to take a invasion by aliens. So he said along the line, take invasion of aliens for the whole nation to come together, because we're dead separate. We're so separated. Like, it's so crazy. But overall, I'm going to pin this up with a button. We need to actually have a conversation. All Black people, all shades, all Black from the Caribbean, from the Africans, and really sit down and say, how are we going to solve the problems that we have within ourselves? And then we present something to Joe Biden or whoever's going to be the next president. Say, listen, we got this, blah, 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 blah. We can put our money in mouth is. You need to help us. Because until America does right by us Black people, America will never be the country that they want to be.
Never, ever.
I think you guys raised a lot of good points. So I think you guys are missing one of the biggest points. And that is, yes, work on the inner self in the community. But the basic thing that's been missing, and the reason why George Floyd had a situation, is Black people, for one, and then other people of color aren't given basic human rights. Yeah. So before you start working on the inside, the outside got to get fixed too. Yeah. Like, it's there. So let's rehash that situation. It's a little graphic, but homeboy comes into the store. One of the stories I've read, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but he comes into the store and he pays with a fake $20. Right? Yeah. Any big city, you can come across a $20 bill, a fake $20 bill.
I've come across multiple times. Like, multiple times.
And some of them are really good. Some of them you can pass as real 20s and you're like, yo, this is an accident. Now, in Minneapolis, supposedly, the store owners are required to call the police when somebody pays with a counterfeit bill. That's a requirement. To be real, I know people who have businesses. They're like, yo, you just give back the 20 and take another real 20.
That's it. Yeah. Don't waste my time.
Don't waste the time.
Yeah. Don't waste. It's a time waste and it adds too much to it. Now I don't know what's in the heart of this store owner. Maybe that was not his intentions for the guy to get in like some crazy trouble. But from the outside looking in, you did too much, and it was probably maybe because he was black. But I'll take that away from right now. Now, the cops come. If you watch the video, they were doing too much.
Yeah, and he was definitely not resisting. He was going along with it, with everything how he was supposed to.
And they told him, he told them like, "Yo, I'm claustrophobic. I can't get into the back of a police car. It's not going to be good for me. It's just not."
I mean, I don't sound.
And he's mad tall. So imagine a guy like 6'something. But I've been in the back of a police car. Sorry, guys, I have experience.
I don't know who has.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah. So
but
that shit is not spaces.
No,
it's not spaces at all. So the dude is mad tall. First of all, yes, and you're cuffed. So the dude is mad tall. You're in the situation. So and then you start beating him up. You throw him on the floor. Now this is where things turn from the worst. If this was a white dude, would he have been treated the same way?
Not at all.
Of course not. We all know that.
And that's
no matter where he's at.
The number one problem is that in this situation, you're not treated the same thing as somebody that was white.
Yeah.
So you're treated less of a person than somebody that's white, and that's an issue.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
You know what the crazy thing is? Like, it is an issue, obviously. But that doesn't only extend to the police and just the black population in general. It extends to corporate offices. It extends to anywhere you might work even. Somebody said it on Twitter. I forgot who it was. After WWE posted the racial equality and whatever they had to say about it.
Yeah.
He posted and said, how is it that black males and females dominate every other sport except for the predetermined ones? So it even extends into the to the wrestling realm, which is 100% true. Look how long it took for us. Look how long it took the black and brown community overall to have a black WWE champion, not a world heavyweight champion, not a European champion, not an intercontinental, but a black full-fledged WWE champion. It could have happened.
And that's been a problem for years.
So many times before that.
I will shoot WWE some bail. I will shoot them a little bit of bail. I have a friend who's currently about to work with them, and he told me that is what they're trying to do. They are legit trying to clean up shit. This is before everything happened. That their mission is to get more diversity within WWE. Because I have
noticed that, but it's just a very tradition of like wrestling, and you have there's too much old guards in wrestling. Way too much. That's the thing that he mentioned is that a lot of them are being removed or leaving the business. So they're trying to bring in new faces into the business because it's a predominantly white company. Yeah, and
the writing room doesn't have any black people in the writing room.
You have any idea how many times I've told Koola to like send in an application?
You don't know how many times
sent in applications. He's a writer. You have
no excuse, Koola. You have a chance to be a head writer of SmackDown. You better put in that resume. You better put it in.
I've put it in numerous times.
He's done it. I've sent
They don't like hiring fans.
Yeah.
They don't like hiring fans.
They don't.
For some reason, they don't want to hire fans.
If you already have a podcast, I do understand that.
Yeah.
I do understand.
Yeah, if you have a podcast that talks about wrestling, they don't want to hire fans. I've had people who had like interviews with them, but this particular person I'm talking about, they said that they have spoken to them like, yo, our job is to get more diversity here because they know what's going on. They know that you guys look wild being $1 billion business, and like for every 20 wrestlers that are white, you have one wrestler that's black or Spanish.
Yeah.
Mind you, Mexicans love, and Mexicans aren't the only Spanish people out there, but they love wrestling.
Yeah.
Yo, come on, they have like tradition. They go in for the mask. Like, yo, this dude, I forgot his name. Like, you probably know him, Alex. I'm not trying to be racist, but hey, you're Spanish. You should know him. He was the guy that he kept kayfabe alive so much. Nobody knows his real. He had comic books, movies. I forgot his name. And you didn't see his mask until like 50 years later on a talk show. Because that's how embedded they and so enriched in wrestling culture. Because it goes back to the Mayans times. So wrestling's been...
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I have no clue who he's talking about.
I don't know who he's talking about, but
there's mad wrestlers with masks?
Yeah.
No, he's famous.
They're all famous. They're all famous.
He's like the top one. I forgot his name. He was in movies. I'm going to text you it. I'm gonna text you later.
I'm gonna check right now. Actually,
we'll make sure that we'll talk about it whenever we find out, though.
Yeah,
so, but it's really a lot. It's just it's really getting sickening in 2019. It's really getting sickening because we get the same storylines over and over. We get the Mandingo story with Lana, Bobby, and Rusev. That's what it is. That's the Mandingo story. So there's no way to cookie cut it at all. It's very tiring. It's Bobby being who he is, Bobby Lashley being who he is. Why wouldn't you want to see that match of him and Brock Lesnar? Why wouldn't you want to see him in numerous heavyweight title matches, universal title matches? And I get it. It is happening this month. It is happening. I get it. But he's been here for more than a year now. In this specific run, it's getting tiring. It's getting tiring. And now that we have AEW, who is a company that's actually backed by a billionaire, a Brown billionaire, it seems like you're doing things just to do it because this is a Brown billionaire who's going to understand our plight because he has gone through that same plight somewhere down the line, whether he's Brown or whether he's a billionaire, he has been through that same plight that we have.
Of course.
So certain things that WWE is going to be doing from now on or since last year, it looks like it's reactionary to everything AEW is doing, whether it is just changing the storyline or whether it is just having a different type of alcoholic storyline. It's a lot of it that seems like it's reactionary. Okay. And this time it's going to look bad when it's like, oh, now we're going to let another black person become a champion. And when he loses the title, it's going to be more than 8 seconds.
The one thing I have to say about that is WWE is so far back when it comes to like being ahead of the curve. They just like, for example, like a couple of examples. Let's look at Impact. Impact had mad black champions. And it was just normal.
R-Truth is one.
R-Truth, it was normal. Bobby Lashley dominated.
He had every title.
Every title. Moves. Look at moves now. There's so many different like black people have been succeeding, black and brown people succeeding in Impact. And when you go to New Japan, the first ever intercontinental champion was a black man. And that's even like, I'm looking at the lens of if I was like a quote unquote white person, he's a thug. He went to jail. He's too thuggish. He fit like the typical stereotype what a black man is, but he let none of that hold him back. New Japan saw him as, he's hot. He's black.
Shout out to MVP.
And the fact that he talked trash in Japanese in the ring, perfect, marketable person. And WWE, like, I get it, but like I said earlier, there's too many old guards. And the top of the chain of those old guards is Vince.
Okay, so wait, hold on, Wilkins. I have a question about that as well, because not even really a question, more of a statement, because we just learned that MVP has been demoted from producer of WWE to just an in-ring performer. It doesn't seem that progressive to me.
What you have to understand, the in-ring performer is like, I guess it's like, I don't see that really like real demotion because like MVP is like it doesn't mean that he's gonna be wrestling all the time. It doesn't mean that in-ring performer be like a manager. Because Eric Bischoff was an in-ring performer technically, but he was just like, part of the show. But that don't really mean nothing to me in my eyes. It's just like he's better suited. Right now, we don't need you as a producer. Right now, we need you to promote this guy, Bobby Lashley. And we don't have Leo Rush no more. And you being that old school dude with that old school touch to him, give him that edge. So I don't think that is a big
honestly speaking,
emotion.
I think it is. I think it is because as a producer, you're shaping the show.
The reason why, though, I think this was
and that's creative control.
The reason why this happened, though, if you look at the long scene, right before we started the podcast, we were talking about the whole Drake Maverick situation. It could be to cut costs. Producers generally would tend to make more money than a part-time in-ring performer. So that's probably what it comes down to.
And someone doing two things at once. Like, okay, I do get it in some aspect.
But they should never make those cuts because, again, they're saving money on production, big money on production. Overall, like you're not trapped.
Being
places.
one person, living in one place. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have no business to know those cuts. And wow, when you look at some quote unquote smaller promotion like Impact, like if you look at them, like they was going to be bleeding money for years, but yet they good. Nobody got fired. Everybody's getting paid. So that says something about big business WWE.
Also, producers don't do shit. I don't want you guys to believe that. Producers don't do shit.
I know.
They're behind the scenes, literally watching like the monitor and that's it. They may use things sometimes like
they'll say change camera.
Or like they may help with matches to put matches together, but it's usually for bigger matches. Most of the motherfuckers ain't doing shit. It's really like 10 people back there ain't doing nothing.
So just think about it. It's like, all right, you can either not have a job or you can have a job. Like,
so if that's the point, why didn't they fire more than 4 producers the first time around?
Because it probably was.
They furloughed a lot.
No. I know they did, but they mainly did 4, and that was it. They didn't do any more than that. Everyone else was talent. Everyone else was talent. It was 4. It was only 4 producers. I mean, they didn't need to begin with, and then
we know that. We don't
know. I don't know. But I do want to say one thing. My brother mentioned something. You guys all mentioned something. A lot of the reason why that certain people don't get to where they need to be is the backstage politics. And that's another thing one of my friends was telling me.
Yeah,
is that
that's anywhere.
Backstage politics. But no. It's really bad in WWE.
No, I can imagine.
Because like my brother mentioned, the old guards are the wrestlers who have pull and be like, yo, I don't want this guy to go anywhere. Because when we rest in peace, Shad, when we interviewed him, he was supposed to become a champion. But backstage politics held him back.
I can see that.
Bobby, he got a little cocky, and people were like, I don't like this guy.
Yep.
Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush, that was Vince's idea. But I will tell you one thing. When they had a black writer, he was writing for Leo Rush.
Shout out to Cass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was writing for them. So it isn't. I really don't believe it's Vince because Vince is stuck in a little bubble. I bet you because half the time you have to come in when he's eating and he'll agree to some shit.
You know what it is? Is Vince's his trust. Is his He trusts his henchmen. He trusts his stooges. So if I can trust you to do this and if I can trust you to do that, if you're money and you know money and you don't want this person to go up and you don't want to work with this person and I value you more than I value him, why disagree?
And that's the thing is when he needs to take these movie people out of place who have these strong voices, but it's such toxic voices.
Yeah.
So
and go ahead.
No, continue. Finish your thought. I'll take the question for after.
Because there's a lot of guys who have outdated ideas.
Yeah.
You've been working there for 50 years. You're gonna think like fucking what was cool in 1990 and early 2000. We're in 2020. The Attitude Era is legit. Was it like 15 years ago? 20 years ago, maybe ish.
Yeah,
20 years ago.
17 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was good, great then. You need some fresh blood in there to I'm not saying take away everybody, but you need new minds in the building.
Most definitely.
I don't think they have enough new minds. But go ahead, Alex.
So, in light of that, since we're talking about WWE and New Japan, AEW, and whatnot, what can the top wrestling promotions, indie promotions, and the wrestling community as a whole do in order to help with educating and dissolving the racial injustice and systematic oppression that's been going on that has stretched through the wrestling industry over time? I mean, you said it yourself, it's an old guard thing. You have people that it's majority white owned. We all know this. We've seen this for years. And it's hard to really try to figure out what to do, because if Vince McMahon don't want to give up his seat, he don't have to give up his seat until he could die in his seat if he wants to. They
need to trust more people, because even coming from New Japan, you see certain talents like Shinsuke get thrown into the back, and you don't see him very much, or he's just not utilized a certain type of way. Asuka, on the other hand, they worked very well with her in NXT, but when she came up, very difficult. Bobby Lashley, when he came from Impact, even after being there after the first run, he comes back for a second run, and he's not really utilized. So I get it. It is a trust thing when it comes to welcome back, but it's also a trust thing when it's just welcome to the company. So it has to be a better welcome, and it just has to be more trust with talent in general. Maybe that's something that they need to have, I guess, maybe more conversations one-on-one with whoever's in charge, I guess. I really don't know. It's a lot, but there's always a start. Conversation is always a start, and it's something that definitely needs to happen.
I think it's a couple of things. You need
He's going to take a shot of coffee.
You need people who are open-minded, who are in charge. That's one. Because the reason why Bobby Lashley is getting the move, and he, regardless of the Lana situation, he was getting TV time.
Yes.
And that's because of Paulie. Paul Heyman was getting this man TV time.
Yeah.
And
that's one reason why I love Paul Heyman, because he's everywhere.
He gave New Jack time, so why not Bobby Lashley, you know?
And it worked. You got to understand people who have their finger on the pulse. You got to have that. You got to have people that he's the thing about it, Vince.
You were right over there, Blacc?
Vince. Vince, and then Vince is trusting Paul and letting him do certain things. But it really comes down to also something that we talked about. The next step after we get basic rights is having people that look like us in power.
Yes. Oh, and most definitely, we don't need to have the stereotypical Black story all the time.
No,
we can sprinkle that in just as much as we sprinkle in the hillbilly. But how many times have we gotten the hillbilly? Is that 2020 is over for the hillbilly?
Can I get a Black hillbilly? I'm kidding.
But the problem is,
yes, Black hillbilly, yes.
That would be perfect. But the only problem I realize is people think that a diversity hire, like I got into a podcast.
Oh no, I don't want a diversity hire. That's like a.
I'm gonna explain.
Okay.
Like, people think that diversity is hiring a bunch of Black people.
Yeah.
But true diversity is hiring people that, yes, who may not look like you, but also have different upbringings, that look differently, have different style, where like we're so caught up with like the whole, like companies will hire a whole bunch of Wayne Brady's. And I'm looking like, bro, that's not really real big diversity. You hire a whole bunch of like
Wayne Brady gets so much shit. I like Wayne Brady though.
There's nothing wrong with Wayne Brady. There's nothing wrong with Wayne Brady, but I'm looking like you literally hire 10 versions, like 10 different Wayne Brady with different names. No, that's not diversity.
Who's the Black wrestling version of Wayne Brady?
Jason Jordan.
Ryan Saxon.
Damn. That was fast. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with both.
And sometimes Bobby seems like it a little bit too sometimes.
Yeah, he can seem like it, but you hire a bunch of Wayne Brady.
That's why you have Leo Rush.
Right. But you literally hire a whole bunch of brain Brady's and you expect that, oh, that's a really big diversity hire. They all have similar education. They went to big Ivy schools. No. True diversity is when you hire a Tupac, you hire Wayne Brady, you hire like a Martin type of person, you hire different kind of people with different kind of, I have to say, different kind of people of color. Instead of the traditional, like, you feel comfortable with this person. No, that's the biggest problem. Like, we don't accept people who don't follow what quote unquote the rules are. Like, for example, if a black person colors his hair, like have long hair, like an anime character, we're not gonna hire him because he looks too off. He doesn't fit the mold of a color person. I don't like that. So if WWE really want to make real changes, like, they're trying, but hire different diversity hires. Like hire somebody that, you know what, let me hire like a Brian Kendrick, or let me hire a guy like Ken Shamrock because he'll do great with all the USC guys, or let me hire somebody that let me hire a Jazz because she'll bring that toughness to the division.
Oh my God, she has better matches than a lot of females that we champion as far as that same era.
Way better matches. Imagine her in WWE working behind scenes with the women, like, y'all.
Like the fact that we have Fit Finley is great, but Jazz would be a lot better.
Jazz would be great because she had like even as a black person, even as a white person, they look like, okay, but this is how you get extra mean. This is how you do certain stuff. This is how you carry yourself. Okay, I like that. They incorporated that and incorporated that. People understand hiring more people who don't look like you. It gives you the edge that you need to get over with all crowds,
and it gives it gives you that advantage because like you're not fit, you have every base covered at that point. Like if you hire a legendary Mexican wrestler to come train the losers and train the people on how to do. I said legendary Mexican wrestlers. Like you'll be able to do that thing if you hire somebody like Jazz. That's the perfect fucking analogy. Like that would be the perfect person to hire for a bunch of hire Booker T to, like, you know, I know he has his own school and all that shit, but like, you know, like
that's the perfect reason to hire him.
Exactly. It helps with all that stuff. And like you said, they're behind the curve. They've been behind the curve for God knows how many years, and it's just it's sad to see that it took this long for them to try to start catching up. Not even start catching up, just try to start.
They're still trying. They're very much still trying.
Well, yes,
and they had I was gonna say that some people may be watching to that, but they didn't have that much black people they could push.
They had a million. They had a million.
Let's focus on the recent era. The Ruthless Aggression era, they had Shelton Benjamin, they had MVP,
and they had
they had both members of Crime Time. They had Jazz. They had so many black Bobby Lashley. They had
Mark Henry, which they did.
Mark Henry, R-Truth. Many different black
former NWA title holder. Come on.
Literally, you could lead switch to switch and made him champion during the Aggression era. So
we can even say Armin Johnson, even though he wasn't the greatest. But
that was his fault.
He was there.
That was clearly his fault. Armin Johnson, I can't blame down racism. That was him.
Yeah,
just not keeping in shape and stuff like that. So I can't blame no one else. That's on him.
Yeah, and it's clear that it was him. Everyone knows.
Overall, though, like, you gotta hire different kind of colored people, not the one you feel comfortable with. Get somebody with different wrestling mind. Different, like, okay, so you've been through this. Okay, cool. Imagine if down the road, shout out to Darius Carter come in there, like, as a high, let's say, God forbid, 10 years later, he come there, how to be a heel through and through. And he end up shaping up different dudes. Seth Rollins, he already headed the game, but you're like, you know what? Maybe it's Darius Carter. Oh,
if we get, I don't want to be stereotypical, but I guess it's stereotypical. If we get another Nation of Domination, I want him to front man that shit.
A different style.
Yeah.
Different style.
That's different. That is not super Black Power, but it is Black Power. Like he's very different when it comes to just pride and knowing exactly who he is. He's great. We've seen him many times on it everywhere, whether it's couple of BCW shows or a couple of Battleground shows. like Battle Club shows. So it's crazy to think of all people that's not signed. He's one of them. At least to me, it is.
I think one of the biggest things is you need more people that look different in positions of power and respect.
Most definitely. And that goes back to my thing about MVP taking that demotion from being a producer to a performer when he was pretty much on his way out. So that's just that to me.
Well, the thing is, they paid him a lot of money. Because when I met him, he was like, the only way he's coming back to WWE if I get that massive check from Vince. So that's one. Also, when you have somebody like him and you have Mark Henry, who's been literally recruiting Black people off of Instagram to come down to the Performance Center.
Great. That's crazy.
So that's what I'm talking about, people in positions of power and influence. And that's what we need more of. And for people like William Regal, who's out here scouting and picking up guys like when Leo Rush was there, picking up guys like Swerve, Isaiah Scott. You know what I mean? These types of people that you're picking up because you're like, oh, you're going to New York. You're doing scouting positions. It's people who understand things outside of it. And the problem is WWE is a family business.
Yeah. And
when it's a family business, and the same thing with AEW, I don't care what anybody says, I'm putting my mans on.
Of course. So we got
nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
What's nothing wrong with that? Because at the end of the day, if I started something huge and they needed positions and you guys fit the positions first, who am I going to call? I'm calling you guys first.
Of course.
Shane did it. Shane did with his friends.
Yes.
Oh my, for sure.
So I'm not gonna deny that, but we need people in the family now that think different and look different. That's one of the biggest things because AEW will say they're mad like progressive. They ain't real progressive.
Again, asterisk. It is the quarantine era.
I mean, it's only 1 year. It's
and
only
you can't
1 year.
say that Scorpio Sky didn't get a title shot because he did, and it was a great fucking match. So like, it's
Black
not
title,
like
first tag team title holder. We got to put that next to his name too.
How many tag teams did they have that deserved it though?
It's not about deserving all the time. Sometimes it's also about who they can give it to. They could have just gave it to the Young Bucks.
They could have.
Exactly.
The Young Bucks decided not to take it.
And that still would have been another great thing if they would have given it to Lucha Bros.
You just have it out for AEW. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know
we
why.
talk about it, but like, there's just something.
What's your grasp? Yeah, like, what's the big thing about AEW? Like, I understand that.
My thing. No, so this is my thing. I like it. I watch it every week. But their fans make it seem like
attack the fans. Attack the fans.
No.
That's all fans. That's all fans of everything.
Yeah,
no, hold on. The fans kind of like they're perfect. AEW, I said that they're the greatest thing moving, which you gotta act sometime. But the thing about it, we're gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna be honest about both. I'm just being honest at how I feel. I love both brands. I watch both brands, but I'm gonna call out your fucking card on both shits.
Exactly, but there is crazy fans of WWE too. Like, how many times that we go in the whole group, like we in the whole Java Tears Facebook group, and people say some wildness for WWE. Oh, this, that, and I'm looking like,
I see it on Facebook.
Let's see how that AEW do. Like, prime example. AEW running WWE talent, right? People just went insane. Oh, you copying, But I'm looking like, bro, that's in any company. Just like at the Knicks, right? The Knicks, probably back in the 80s, right? Imagine if they brought up Jordan to the Knicks. They won't be like, oh, F you, Jordan. Oh, I won a championship. They go,
they would have been.
They'll be happy. If you look at this as a real sport, in sports, you're gonna get players from the other team to help your brand.
Wait. Because when KD went to the Warriors, he got shit.
No, that's always gonna happen. The one thing you have to think about is this. It's always the grassroots fan. It's always the grassroots fan.
That's what it is.
An asshole. No matter where you go, there's the grassroots fan. There's a lot of fans in WWE that just refuse to believe that there can be real competition in the States.
I'll be real with you. New Japan over WWE any day. New Japan over even AEW any fucking day right now. Any day. So like,
and it doesn't matter. Like, I'm more supportive of the talent, not the company. The company. I don't work for the company and I don't work for the man, but I can speak to that man personally. I can speak to the person that works there, the independent contractor. I can speak to that person personally before I can speak to Vince McMahon or Tony Khan. So it's not about them. And that's what a lot of people are mad about. They'll get pissed off about whether or not Jordan goes to the Knicks. The Knicks fans will be mad, and then they'll have their fucking drink like, yeah, we gonna get a fucking championship. If not this year, we're gonna get it next year. So that's always gonna happen. So that's the same thing would happen with Cody. It's gonna happen. It's like, oh shit, he went indie. He's not gonna be anything until he comes back. But he never came back. And never say never, he might not ever come back. But
I think
it's that grassroots fan is the asshole. They are just so WWE, and sometimes they're just so AEW. It's really annoying.
Let's pull this back real quick. Because I'm going to be that AEW hater on this podcast today. Okay. I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to pull this back.
Nothing wrong with that. I was going to say this, like, before you be a hater.
Hold on, wait.
I remember. Hold on, my memory drink.
Because the only reason why Cody didn't come back because Tony Khan popped out of nowhere. Because they threw the fucking checkbook at Cody.
He also didn't have to, though.
He didn't have. Like,
he wasn't
New Japan. He didn't have to come back. And Ring of Honor.
He was going to come back.
He had Ring of Honor popping. We've never talked about Ring of Honor. We've never talked about Ring of Honor until
it died. Because it died when the Elite left. It died.
No, Ring of Honor died because of what they did at the Madison Square Garden. That's why it died. Let's get that shit straight. First of all, it's not because of the Elite. They fucked themselves over at Madison Square Garden when they did the G1 Super, whatever the fuck it was called. Not Super Showdown, but Super Card. Yeah. Like, they fucked themselves over. That has nothing to do with the Elite.
For the fans who don't know, how they messed themselves up?
Oh, because they brought in Enzo and Cass, and that's the quickest.
That's not it. That's not only it. But yes,
that's
definitely.
A big part.
That's a big part. But even before that, you also gotta think about New Japan and their partnership, their lack of a partnership, or they're just New Japan also fucked up with the Elite. Let's be honest.
They did.
That's part of it. And that's also part of it. So you also got to think about what happened in January. They announced AEW. That also fucked up for Ring of Honor and New Japan because that show could have been sold. It could have been sold out sooner, but it didn't. And New Japan had more sales for it than Ring of Honor, really. But
whatever.
I get it. But like I said, it just goes down to the grassroots fan. Like, no matter where you go, no matter what we're talking about, let's talk about the grassroots fan that hates, that loves to be the one that was there from day one and that hates everything else. Or we can talk about the fan that just dislikes everything else except for the one brand. Me, personally, I liken wrestling companies to department stores. You can go wherever you want. You take your resume, you take your experience with you. You don't take that company's name with you. You take your relationships with you. You don't take that company's with you.
Yo, that is so facts. That's bars because, dang, like I haven't been on a job interview in years, but let's say I have a job interview, they'll look at, oh, shoot, you work for this place, and look at it, like, for example, if you want to get a customer, they say you want to be like, what's a big customer service job? HR, right? They'll look at, oh, okay, you was a manager at McDonald's, you worked at retail, so you're good with customers. So they look at that like, okay, so you're good for this place for HR. So you're right, because I just call us, we are the more self-aware fans because we are a notch of we are like the podcasters because we have to know everything about a little bit about everything. Matter of fact, bump that. We are good podcasters that know a little bit about everything. We go to the independent shows. We watch New Japan, Impact. We watch all of those. So a lot of times we don't have favorite. Obviously, our favorite out of WWE, but like we have more favorite people. Like if I go to the show, right? I see my boy Big Time Yaya. Woo! What? Yaya Nas. Oh, he gonna be at Battle Club? I'm gonna follow him. Oh, he gonna be at I'm gonna follow him.
Yeah.
Because we are the Evolve fans. So people that makes up the majority of the audience for WWE Impact, they're the fans that, like you said, like I've been here since day one. This is the only thing I watch. When WWE
and it's hard to leave.
Television, yes. When WWE goes to television, that's it. Like, for example, people didn't know that Christian went to Impact. They were just like, oh, Christian, where were you for the past couple of years? I went to Impact. We knew about that. But the fans who were just
refuse to watch anything else, refuse to look for anything else, they're not going to know because they don't want to know. And they think, and I get it. Like, you go to a super Walmart, even if a mile down the way there's a super Target, but it's like, okay, Walmart has everything.
Nobody go to Target.
My point exactly. I mean,
wait, what?
I go to Target.
I go to Target.
You have to choose.
Target every day. Target,
baby.
Every day. Every day.
No, Target. No,
every day.
I'm a Target guy too, but at the same time, that's
how. Put the cheese up, baby. Put the cheese up.
I'll pay $1.
Walmart game.
Cheese, baby. Yeah. Like
Walmart game.
Like, if I don't want to go that far to Walmart, I'm definitely going to Target. So I get it. There's people that's like, okay, that doesn't exist for me because this is more accessible. And whatever the case is, like, no one's going to go to Ross. No one's going to go. Yes, that's another store.
Yeah, it's like where's the Crow Factory?
Yeah, no one's gonna go to Ross when you have to search when that's not on basic.
He said Ross. The last one I went to was in San Francisco last year. So
my point exactly, and that is like Impact. Impact is like Ross. You cannot find it.
That's a good analogy.
Hey,
that's a pretty good analogy.
That is bars. That is bars.
I'm trying out here.
So when are we gonna have our next like major push for a Black WWE champion or a Universal champion or even women's champion?
You might be getting that right now.
Bobby Lashley, baby.
Okay, I want to say person of color.
Bobby. Okay, right now for the now, Bobby Lashley. For the future, Montel Ford. That man is the future.
Montez.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, who?
You know what the funny thing is? A lot of people, I always say he's underrated. Why the fuck doesn't Xavier Woods get a shot? Why doesn't Big E get a shot?
Daniel Bryan has
You had them both. You had all three of them hot as fuck for years. You had Kofi become champion. Cool, great. We were all there. We all shared in that glory when it happened at the bar in Legends. It was an awesome fucking time. When the fuck is Xavier Woods gonna get a shot? When the fuck is Big E Langston gonna get a shot? They're too scared
to even make it look like they're gonna break the group up.
No, it's not about breaking the group up because if that was a thing, because if that was a thing,
what I said.
If that was a thing, they could have broken the group up when Kofi won.
They're too scared to make it look like they're even gonna do that.
But it didn't even look like that.
Want to separate them.
It didn't even look like that though. When
it's the money.
When Kofi won, it didn't look like that. So how come Xavier Woods and Big E don't get those chances? You know what I mean? Like happy for
not even gonna make it look like it. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to make it even seem like it. They don't even want that in your brain to...
What does one have to do with the other? Because when Kofi won it, that wasn't in anybody's mind. It was,
But you think about The Rock and you think of Nation of Domination. There's a...
No.
And I know it's very different. I know it's very different, but at the same time, there's an inkling of if he's champion, why can't I be champion? Like there's going to be... It can happen differently. They need to make it happen differently.
But between the three of them,
it's not happening. No time.
You know what I mean? Like if it was going to happen, it would have happened with the Kofi reign. You know what I mean? It would have at least been Xavier would have had some jealousy thing, or Big E would have had some jealousy thing. Like it could have happened then, and it didn't happen then. So why would it happen now?
Would have only happened then if they cared about seeing two black dudes in the ring in WWE together for that title. So no, it would not have happened.
It didn't have to be. It didn't have to be.
It doesn't have to.
It could have been Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
But reason why that they said themselves like we're not breaking up. It's okay for us to be together. It's a strong ass number. But you raised a good point. Like how come like you haven't tried? Koola. Like you raised a good point. Like how come you haven't gave Xavier like a trial run? You know, give him the US title, the IC title, whatever. Like they'll say, you know what? Let me see what you can do with this. You know, give Big E the IC, same exact thing. Let me see what you can do with this. You know, because Xavier never won a title outside of tag team titles ever. And now we have 3 different brands. You can give him the cruiserweight. Actually, 4 brands if you count UK. You give him the cruiserweight. You could give him the North American Championship. Like there's so much things you could do to give these guys a run. And honestly, I have to say they are way over than the Nation, because I'm gonna say exactly why. Because
Nation had like 3 iterations in 3 years.
Right. With them, they stick to the guns because they speak language that a lot of us speak.
Nerd culture,
anime, video games, this, that, and third. So these 3 are the perfect person you can always put out. Is WWE actually going to give Xavier and Big E like a title run with the single runs? Not to be WWE or World Universal's just yet. That's the $1 million question. Do you have enough confidence to because these 3 guys are created ourselves and together as a unit, unstoppable. But that's a great point.
That would be great.
Because the thing is, like,
I don't see it.
You see a group like, for example, Undisputed Era. They had the NXT Championship, North American Championship, and Tag Team Championships, right? But why couldn't Kofi be the WWE champion? Big E get the push to be a fucking Universal Champion or Intercontinental Champion, and Xavier Woods gets a push for an Intercontinental Champion. They don't have to be main fucking champions, but at least all 3 of them having championships. I mean, they did do that with the Tag Team Championships at one point, but like
they should have done that
in a singles environment. That should have happened, and it should still happen going forward.
I think one of the reasons why is because they want to give other people a chance. They want to because there's a lot of talent on that roster.
That's one.
It's a lot of talent of like, yo, we got you guys here.
Yeah, they hoard talent.
Yeah, they hoard talent. So it's like we gotta spread this around a little bit. It shouldn't be that way. I think, and they're also boxing them in. They got comfortable where New Day is at, which is being that top tier tag team. Yeah. So we're gonna use you guys and rotate you guys around because it works. Their philosophy right now, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And that's the real problem, is where they're so good as a unit that you keep them there. And I know you're talking about singles titles, but it's like, nah, there's no point. Put it tag teams.
My thing is, you brought up NXT and the Undisputed Era. If it's not NXT, I don't see it happening for the New Day. Mainly because I don't think anytime soon we'll see 3 black men as champions of a show, or even 3 black men as far as champions go. I don't think we'll see that in WWE as the main champions. And I get it. It's possible when we have the 3 of them as tag team champions, but it's very different when they're holding 2 or 3 different titles.
They don't have that many titles, though.
I mean, right now we have the Street Profits as tag team champions. We have.
They're not tag team champions.
Yeah, of course, yeah. The Street Profits.
I haven't been watching in a very long time, so I have no clue about WWE.
Yeah, they still are. The Street Profits, Apollo, and we got R-Truth.
I'm talking about top champions as far as WWE or Universal.
Or at least Intercontinental.
But the thing is that there's not that many titles, though, on each brand. There's only 2 singles titles on each. There's only 2 singles titles on each brand.
Yeah.
That's the WWE, whatever, the heavyweight title, whatever, I'll call it that, on WWE each brand. And then you have the USA. You have the US title, and then you have the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
And then the tag team titles. There's not much to go around.
It isn't. It isn't, and that's why you have to factor in UK and NXT as well. So, like, I get it. I would love to see it. I just don't think we will see that in the next 2 years. And not to say that it's impossible. And I love that the fact that Apollo has the title right now, because I've never thought we would see him with the title.
Facts.
Never thought we would see him have between him and what's dude that had the 205 cruiserweight title, Cedric Alexander. I never thought that they was gonna push those guys, but it's happening. So I certain times I say things so that I can put it in a universe and get proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong.
So what can we do, like, as fans, to kind of help out?
That. Yeah.
I personally, I prefer to only comment on things that I like and not comment on things that I don't like.
What?
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
If I don't like it, I'm not going to comment on it much. I'll make a comment once.
Why can't you voice your displeasure with something that they're doing?
Yeah.
If a company was to, let's say, make a product that they have that's fucked up, that doesn't work, and they have to recall it, like, why wouldn't you voice the issue? You know what I mean? Like,
product is one thing, a service is another.
No, it's not, because it's not a product. What you're watching is a WWE product at the end of the day. So how is that any different from if you don't like a TV show, you're gonna comment on it.
I'm not gonna watch anymore.
No, because we didn't like how Game of Thrones ended. Look at the fucking backlash that shit got. So in terms of why can't that same backlash go towards, no pun intended, WWE? Got it? WWE backlash. But anyways, why? Yeah.
Bars.
Why is that? Why is that any different?
Okay. To a certain extent, I'm not gonna overpush the fact that I don't like the fact that Nia's hurting wrestlers. I'm not gonna overpush it because everyone else is. There's nothing for me to say when everyone else is saying it. I'm not gonna overstate the fact that the WWE video game was glitchy and shitty. I'm just not gonna buy it. I'm gonna let everyone else buy it.
Thank God I only spent $8 on it, but oh my God, it was bad.
I'm not gonna talk about it. There's nothing for me to talk about. If I don't like it, I'm gonna just say I don't like it. If you want to know why, we can have that talk.
But what can we do as podcasters/fans?
Oh well,
as a wrestling community, like that's what he was asking. Like, what can we do to help with push all these agendas forward?
Okay,
that's why we were confused.
So,
like, what do you
respectively saying what you don't like? There's a way to go about things. Respectively speaking up about what you don't like. It doesn't have to go down to a lot of people just don't know how to really say exactly how they feel. Sometimes you just have to say exactly how you feel about what you feel about something. You don't have to say, "Oh, this person is a shit wrestler." Like, okay, they either need to not be on TV or they need to be training or something, or they need or creative or whatever need to figure out how to make it a little bit more easier for the wrestlers to speak, or they need to speak about certain things.
I feel like for us to make a real change as collective wrestling community, we gotta boycott them. Like, honestly, we stop buying.
I'm already boycotting. I'm boycotting.
Like, honestly,
I mean, I don't. I still pay for WWE now.
Right. But people complain, right? Like, now as we just have a discussion. They complain, burn WWE, but yet you see them when WWE says that they have that stupid commercial. Yeah, now only for today. T-shirts are 40% off.
Oh, and motherfuckers all run to buy it.
Buy one, get one. Yeah, now.
Buy one, get one for $1. It's like,
I'm not that guy. I stopped.
But overall, we need to have a boycott. Honestly, because if you want to change, if you really want to change, like, yo, listen, you need to have more diversity across the board in WWE. You got to boycott them. You have to, because
that's not going to work.
But then again, we talk.
Like, not going to work.
But the thing is, it's talking in unison, in unity. That's the difference. People talk about this thing. Somebody talks 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 about this thing. The reason why the women's division changed is somebody put up that hashtag and it caught fire. People were together and they were complaining about it. Like this whole podcast, like today's episode that we're talking about the racism that's going on. But the biggest thing that I've seen, the sexism is there as well. And the biggest thing I've seen since the few times I've gone on to protest is people of all shapes, colors, backgrounds protesting about inequalities for Black people in America. And in order to see a change in certain things in wrestling, we all have to come together. Like if you want to see more Hispanics at a top level, you got to come together and start talking about it. Okay. That whole like boycotting thing is one thing, but you have to be annoying.
Honestly,
to get people's attention.
He's right, because look what happened with the whole Kofi Kingston thing. He had one amazing performance, and then everybody got behind him. Everybody was on Twitter, on social media, just going, "Hey, Kofi deserves this. Kofi deserves that." And
it comes down to money. If you're not fucking up money, you're not fucking up anything.
I mean,
you're not fucking up money. You're not fucking up anything. So my way of protesting, I will be. If that happens, most likely I will be behind it. But for the most part, I don't pay for anything WWE. I don't even pay my. Thank you very much. But there's many times where even though
it's only $9.99.
Yeah, but even though
there's a free version now.
Yeah, there's a free version now. Sometimes I still stream, even with the possibility of going on it. Sometimes I still stream illegally. Oh well.
You know what? I can't say nothing.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
You said it so many times. It doesn't matter. As long as we don't give them the site, fuck it. Like,
you guys are dirty. You guys are dirty.
Well, I can't say nothing
because if I want to watch an old WWE match, I still go on YouTube. To this day, I still go on YouTube and watch all grainy. Like, man, this quality sucks. Then weeks later, someone said that, to the network. It's a little bit too late for that now. I already watching the bad quality.
Yeah.
That's it. So, I could, like, honestly, we come from Koola, like, you stuck in your ways, but overall is, you know what?
It's just many ways to protest. That's the one thing. That's just what it comes down to for me.
The best way is we need to come together as Avengers. There's some people, like, for example, like shout out to Java Tears podcast, and shout out to like the Java Slams live form. Hope you can have it, but
nigga, we're not having it.
Well, we got it in 2021 because this year doesn't count. So, but overall,
that's what I've been saying the whole time.
I've been saying that since Kobe.
literally, we all shut up and put our money where our mouth is and say, you know what? Y'all said that how that woman cannot main event event. What happened to two women of color and main evented that?
So what we need. Event. So what you're saying is
after that, like if you don't see it on your television screen, go out there and support your local indie wrestler.
Yeah.
Like show WWE, like when like shout out to William Regal. I met him at the Bottom Club show when they had in Brooklyn. He was outside, I met him, right? I bet you if we support all indies all the time,
that's where they'll be at.
Support, like he's gonna come in like, wait a minute, they're really behind this guy. They're really behind this woman because he was there when everyone was behind Tasha Steele. And everyone was like, ooh, the crowd stood up. We really gotta go back to the basics and support our local indie.
It's impossible this year. Shit.
No. Support them. Buy their t-shirts. Buy their t-shirts. Share their videos. Like their stuff. Talk about them on the podcast. Honestly, for us to
I'm mad. I don't have my big school shirt on today.
I got my Prolific shirt on right here. My Prolific shirt. Yeah. And let's take it back to the street. Let's make it hip hop, man. Like, yo, like let's get these players. Like, let's go back to the basics.
But it goes back to everybody coming together and working together.
Absolutely.
and like continuously pushing something that they really want. That's people complain about.
I'm gonna say that's really hard because there's emails that have been going out that I've been flying out, and a lot of them, for whatever reason, a lot of them don't say why, but they just don't reach back out. Sometimes they do. They shit.
He's right.
They shit. They very much give us shit, not explaining why, but they definitely do give us shit about even just not even contacting us back, but a big shit of just running around through emails when a lot of people have nothing but time. We don't need no more than 30 minutes.
15 even, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like, it's kind of hard. I understand what he's saying, and it is frustrating, but at the same time, Wilkins does have a point. You still got to come back.
Yeah, I don't want to say
we're not going to name names. We'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah,
but
because I'm not confused. I was like, what are you talking
about? We'll tell you afterwards, but we'll discuss it afterwards for sure. But I think
not in my head. Like, I don't even talk about like that.
It does come back. Like I said, it does come back. Like he said, it does come back to being unified, and also a failure to listen on the other side. Because if people aren't listening, we could be as united as we can. But if people aren't listening on the other side, then what the fuck? You know, like
they're not gonna listen though. They're never gonna listen until you become so fucking annoying.
Yeah,
and then you also need.
Then let's just all act like 3-year-olds. Like about the subject.
It's that being annoying.
Yeah.
Why?
So I'll give an example. Do y'all remember when I think the title was taken off of Becky Lynch because she got punched in the face, right? By Nia. And then they were asking who's going to be the challenger for something. And I forgot exactly what it was. But then he said, I think Vince was there. He said, Charlotte. The crowd went wild. Then he said, Asuka. And the crowd went fucking crazy.
I remember that.
And then Vince was like, and then the story comes back that Vince didn't know if Asuka was this over. Now, granted, Asuka hasn't had the best run, but she is champion multiple times.
Yeah.
Yes. She has a lot of fucking stats right now.
And she has the longest undefeated streak ever within the company. So
so I think when you're so, they have to pay attention to you, and then the person who you're pushing has to deliver. And hopefully they don't have no real backstage politics going on, because that's another.
That's 90%.
That's a whole other episode.
Exactly. That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, but like you said, Kofi, he delivered. Becky, I still remember this. This was WrestleMania after. No, this was Raw, or was it SmackDown after Mania? And Charlotte was supposed to be a face, and Becky was supposed to be a heel. Becky comes out, starts cutting a promo, but people are cheering. Like, going crazy for her.
That was at WrestleMania.
That's the same thing with AJ. That was the same thing with
SummerSlam?
I think it was after SummerSlam.
It was probably SummerSlam.
SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
Yes. So it was after SummerSlam. Because it was at the Barclays. Yes, because SummerSlam was at the
Big Four or Five.
Right? Yeah. It was at the Barclays Center, and then I went to the Barclays Center for Raw or SmackDown, whichever one it was, and I remember people are going absolutely crazy for Becky. They're going crazy.
You hitting your TV? You're trying to get your TV to work?
No, I'm trying to get this flyer.
Is there a cat at your window? Oh, okay.
And then, so people went crazy, and then now look where she was before she got preggo.
But then again, let's backtrack this. Zack Ryder. He did his job.
Grassroots promo on your own.
He literally did his job
without breaking
exactly
rules.
What the company told him to do, and what happened?
He got complacent.
No. Zack Ryder got himself over.
That's what he's saying. Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
No. Everybody I mentioned didn't get themselves over.
No. And that was the issue. Because he got himself over, that was the issue.
He got heat for that.
Yeah.
He got heat.
Yeah, that's why he messed up. What I'm trying to say is that he found the loophole, and they're like, nah, you ain't getting paid for this loophole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, curfew.
Wow.
He's back. He's back.
Wow.
8 o'clock, niggas.
Wow. Everybody got the same thing at the same exact time. I'm like,
that's
the
crazy. I'm like, what's
that?
Man.
Right. It's 8 o'clock already?
Nah, it's 7:30. 7:30. But
I'm about to say.
Curfew, bitches.
I think the one thing that they could, not even WWE, but like the one thing that I think has a huge opportunity to work in terms of like at least promoting more diversity in terms of like not in WWE, but like let's say AEW. The whole thing with the TNT Championship, he said it's an outside challenge too. Anybody could come through. Yeah. I was telling him I would love to see fucking Anthony Bowen come through, or have DC.
There is Carter.
Yeah, like
I would love to see Leo. Honestly, I would love to see.
Like, why the fuck not? He's a beast.
And I know he's saying that he's not sure about wrestling anymore, but just a one-off.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a whole thing. It could just be a one-off, 2 or 3 appearances.
This cannot happen. This has to happen when there's the audience allowed to be there. Because
I like what they're doing now. Because that needs to happen with the crowd. We need to hear that pop.
Right. I'm happy that Cody's doing open opportunity for everybody. Grant that. But
I don't believe it till I see it.
Yeah.
As right now.
Yeah, we know how you feel.
I agree.
People chances.
Yeah.
So again, this is a 14 era.
It's just a start. He just defended against Jungle Boy.
Exactly.
That's just
that
week 1.
That don't count.
That's week 1. I'm just saying it's
that
week
don't
1.
count.
There is the fireworks. There is the fireworks, B. He already bled.
Jesus.
So if Cody didn't bleed, I'll say, all right, it doesn't count. But he bled. But Cody tried. So it counts.
Wilkins hated.
Yo, if you say anything AEW, he's already loading up the fucking magazine.
Yeah.
Him and Barry and Marks, they hate AEW. I'm like, why you hate it for so much? More people say I hate it. I'm just an honest fan.
You sound like you do.
Sounds like hate to me.
It's honest.
I'm black and I know what hate sounds like. That sounds like hate.
You approve this message.
Yeah, I approve the hate. I approve that this is hate.
I am black. I know what hate is.
Exactly. But as far as AEW goes, I just want to see more from, like, Big Swole is great. She's good. I want to see great. There's a lot that she can do. They're giving her some TV time. They're giving her a mic. I like it.
She got better.
She's gotten better. But as far as mic goes, she has to get a lot more better.
Hey, listen.
It's a process.
Yes, it's a process. And all you got to do is just keep talking. Keep talking.
Just like we said last time that I was on the show, like The Miz, like, it's literally a process.
Yeah,
Becky Lynch was not Becky Lynch before that. Charlotte wasn't Charlotte before. Charlotte wasn't Charlotte. Ric Flair wasn't Ric Flair. Stone Cold wasn't Stone Cold. It's all a process. And honestly,
The Rock was The Rock, though.
Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Backtrack.
No, they were groomed though. They were groomed.
Okay, you can be groomed, but you could also be born with the gift of gab.
Yes.
And there's a difference.
Because Cody's good. I'll give him that. I'm not a hater.
He was groomed.
I'm not a hater.
He's extra, but so I get it.
I said it on the.
He be crying. He be crying on cue. That's a talent, B. That's a talent.
I think
you just gotta think about your dead dog or cat, and you're just like, and
okay, man.
Think about your dad.
I'm just saying.
That's easy right there. Think about the American dream right there.
Yeah, honestly, I said it on the last podcast. I love Cody, but I'm tired of this gimmick so far of the heartfelt doing it.
Yeah, we gotta wait for him to get mad and conceited after he defends it a bunch of times.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the heel turn.
Yeah.
Like it's like he's gonna be. I don't want him to become Cena.
He's really the American nightmare, though.
I'm waiting for that.
We're waiting for that. We're all waiting for that.
He's successful, married to a black woman. Damn, B.
And he's mixed.
Yeah,
he's mixed.
Yeah,
he's Cuban. Yeah, he's part Cuban. So
yeah. Damn, he really is.
He needs to talk that shit more. He needs to talk that Cuban shit more. If he come up next week talking Spanish, I'll be happy.
And why people say that he's culturally appropriating? I'm looking like,
because honestly, if he didn't say it in the last 2 weeks, I would not have known.
I didn't know that either. Like I see it now because he reminded me of an old supervisor I used to have named Mr. Dominique. Like he has that, like it's like a certain look that he has, but
I still don't see it.
Now.
Okay,
but it's like it's very little. It's very little. Like I'm looking like he's more white than anything. So
yeah.
But
where do you see that at?
What feature? What feature?
Like Alex looks Spanish. Like Alex looks like he could be Puerto Rican or some
if I shave this shit off, I'm Puerto Rican. Straight
and it's
up.
The nose too. It's the nose too. It's a little
like it's something that he has.
No. You are convincing yourself this. He does not.
It's all right. It's all right,
Black. You know what? Let me stop. I'm trying to convince myself. Like Cody looks like the typical white guy that like who looks like would take my order. Like bump that. He looks like an IT guy. Before
he looks like the typical white asshole.
He looks like an IT guy.
For me.
I'm sorry. Like
the American Nightmare. That's why it works.
He's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he looks like the typical white asshole to me. Like he looks like asshole Jock to me.
But he looks
like the asshole in college.
No, he's right. He that plays lacrosse. He looks like Archer from fucking Archer. He looks like Archer. That's Archer.
Yes.
If you have the prototype, he's Archer.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. I love that he's like, I guess, I don't want to say playing both sides, but obviously not. That's not the case. But he plays the part that he's playing right. Like even down to him saying at Double or Nothing last year, like it's not that he doesn't see color. He sees the color because if he didn't see the color of Brandy, he wouldn't know her fight. So he's exactly. So he's an ally. He's a real ally.
No, Cody's a good guy. Cody's a generally good guy. Yeah. Like Cody's my favorite wrestler in AEW, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's one of my favorites. I like his in-ring work. I know it's slow, but it's meticulous in my. Jericho's Jericho. It's one of those like you're gonna like Jordan.
That's a given, exactly.
I only asked because you said your favorite in AEW.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're gonna like Jay-Z. For the most part, everybody likes Jay-Z.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, except for Alex. But
I'm indifferent.
certain albums.
Yeah, I'm indifferent.
But for the most part, when people talk about hip hop, they talk about Jay. But you're not gonna hear everybody talk about DMX. You know what I mean?
I do.
When you talk about crackheads and musicians, and I love
DMX.
Let's
even more niche. Let's get even more niche. You won't hear a lot of people say that Tyler is one of their favorite rappers. Like Tyler's one of the top 5. You're not gonna hear that.
Never. I'm
not gonna hear that. Like he said,
but Cody's less. But Cody's less niche than that.
Huh?
Cody's less niche than that. Cody's a little bit more.
No. I'm talking about how like he's not everyone's favorite, and that's okay. But you still not the fact that he got skills. Like, okay, Cody's good in the ring. It may not be my favorite though, but I can see why people like him. That's what I mean, like because
and honestly, I wasn't bringing this up just to like go back and forth between them two because I like them. I just like when I think of AEW, I think of great promos, and both of them and Moxley, all three of them have great promos. It's just it's different. It's different. They're all different.
Who's your favorite in AEW?
It's really hard because I'm tired. I don't want to say I'm tired of good guy Cody, but I love the fact that Jericho can play all around.
So that's your favorite. Everything. That's your favorite right now. Jericho and AEW. What about you, Alex? Who is your favorite?
It has to be between Jericho and Adam Page, because Adam Page, the way he's evolving and his character and all that shit, like it's
way evolving. Yeah, it's evolving. Yeah,
he's doing it really well. So
my favorite is Marco Stunt, Darby Allin, and Cody.
Oh yeah, Darby Allin's right there.
Darby Allin is great. As far as new guys, I'm loving him and Kip Sabian. Those are my 2 favorite new guys, and I want to see more from Kip.
All right, guys. So, do we have any last thoughts on the?
We just need another nation of domination, and it has to be gamers. It has to be anime viewers. It has to be everything. It has to be everything.
Okay. I guess my final last word is Listen, man. Support your local indie artists, man. Like support your local indie wrestlers. Like go to prowrestlingtees.com. Look up some of your favorites. Like if you don't have Pro Wrestling Tees, hit them up. Let them know that I appreciate the things you do in the ring. Like their status, share their status. Watch a couple of matches. Like tell a friend. Shout out to Janelle from HR. Tell a friend, and that's it.
What about you, Wilkins?
Live life, love, eat good, fuck. This is Sir Wilkins.
I mean, if you're fucking, you better be eating good.
Wow. Okay. You gotta go there. You gotta go up a block. All right. Nasty motherfucker.
Hey, what do you expect?
All right.
Sign it off, Mr. Alex.
So yeah, that's the end of the podcast. If you go ahead, plug away, sirs. Your podcast.
Follow me.
There you go.
I guess I do the individual. Like follow me at IG at _Mr. Blacc. That's with 2 C's. Follow Sir Wilkins on Instagram, and where to follow both of us as a party.
The Job Tears Podcast. It's on Instagram. Jump on our Facebook group, the Job Tears Podcast Network group, and we're here.
All
right.
That was good.
We're really good at this.
I gotta ask you a question.
Huh?
When you done?
Okay,
Cool. So like, it's a question I gotta ask you too. Like, we are the references, but go ahead.
No, we're gonna tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
So you can follow us on Twitter at Pokes and Chokes, myself at _Mr. Alex25 _ the guy on the other side of this at NU _KEWLA. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Pokes and Chokes, on Instagram at Pokes Chokes Podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Transistor, Stitcher, and Google Play Music. And watch our other episodes on YouTube. What'd you say?
Said it everywhere except for title.
Pretty much. And yeah, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll catch up with you guys next time. Hope to do this again soon.
Peace.